Thank you for that, Kiniwe, Rinilwe. But thank you very much for coming through this afternoon to this press briefing by the African National Congress, which will be addressed by our Secretary General, Comrade Fikile Mbalula, speaking to an important development that is going to be championed by the ANC, speaking to the review of our elections manifesto that we took to the people of South Africa in 2019, and the commitments that we made and how we aim to account on those commitments. Of course, the SG will also speak to other matters that are pertinent, and during the Q&A session, you would also have an opportunity to engage with the SG on other matters of national and geopolitical interest. So this afternoon we invite you to engage with us, and we welcome you. I'm also joined, and the SG is hosting a delegation of the leadership of the South African Student Congress, SASCO, legitimately established and confirmed as the duly elected leadership that represents progressive young people in higher education. And they are here, they will be introduced, and you would also have a chance to engage with them on matters that affect young people, the learning youth, and what the outlook is for the years ahead in building democracy in higher education. SASCO being known as a fighting force in tertiary education struggles. With that, I want to now hand over to the Secretary General, Comrade Fikile.
Thank you very much, and good afternoon to ladies and gentlemen of the media. And thank you very much for attending this important announcement that we are making as the ANC today in relation to the Manifesto review. I also want to greet the leadership of SASCO with us here today. As you will know that SASCO was faced with a number of challenges arising from the National Conference of SASCO. The National Executive Committee of the ANC have since taken a decision after thorough engagement with SASCO. We came to a conclusion that the legitimate structure of SASCO is the one that was elected at Lake Conference, and we could not announce that at the NEC press conference before we engaged with SASCO. So yesterday we concluded that process where we met with SASCO leadership, and we informed them of the ANC decision, and all leadership of SASCO, those who went to a different conference, have accepted the legitimacy of this leadership here, and they will work together going forward. And this is the leadership of SASCO that will introduce to the media, of which I think some of them you are well conversant, and you know some of the leadership of SASCO, from the president, SG, and all of them, who are leading the student struggles in the different campuses. So as the ANC, we are very much elated that we have finally overcome the difficulties that were faced by our student organization, and we're looking forward to them executing their work and providing leadership to the mass of students in the country. We are now left with COSAS, and with COSAS that will be the conclusion of our work in terms of the structures of the mass democratic movement, to assist them in the task of building student unity and organization on the ground. Ladies and gentlemen, as it has been explained by the spokesperson, today is an important announcement. As you all know, the National Executive Committee of the ANC have started a process of a review of its manifesto process from 2019 elections. and we did give a feedback in terms of that review. So in terms of today, we are embarking on that process, informed by what we resolved in 2019. In 2019, when we went and asked for the vote to our people, we characterized this as a cusp of hope and renewal period. That we are a nation on the cusp of hope and renewal after a testing time. This moment in our history is an important opportunity to turn from practices that undermined the integrity of our democratic institutions and the potential for higher rates of economic growth and development. And South Africa has improved the lives of the majority of our people. Much of the momentum of change was sustained during many years in the past 29 years or so. Though we could have moved faster and the quality of services could have been much better, regrettably there has also been reversals in some critical areas. We also said, as a nation, we have learned the harsh impact on society and the economy arising from loss of integrity in institutions of state and business and in political and other formations. We have learned hard lessons about the vigilance needed to stop creeping lawlessness, greed and selfishness taking root. As the party of government, the ANC should have acted faster, that is what we said, and moved decisively. We were remiss in not preventing a drift from the campus of integrity that inspired the generation whose mission it was to achieve a democratic and inclusive society. We have heard the cries of millions about things that went wrong. We accept the criticism. Having learned from both the good and the bad of the past 25 years or so, informed by our history of commitment to the people's cause, we are resolved to make this an era of renewal and hope. We said we have a plan for renewal and faster progress, the march to a better South Africa free from divisions of apartheid past, an aspiration shared by all the people of our country can now be pursued at a brisker pace. The ANC has a plan to turn things around and speed up movement to a society that is united and democratic, based on equality without regard to race and gender, committed to addressing the needs of children and the youth, prosperous and protects the most vulnerable. The ANC government has started to revive the economy, to speed up growth and creation of economic opportunities. The stimulus and recovery plan sets us on a course to improve the lives of all the people. Working with all sectors, we shall renew and strengthen state institutions and point the economy towards a better life for all. We said the march to a better South Africa is unstoppable. The road ahead will not be easy. Renewal will sometimes pose difficulties and there will be resistance to the fight against corruption, but the march to a better South Africa is unstoppable. United in our diversity, together we shall realize the vision to improve the quality of life of all citizens and free the potential of each person. The African National Congress has embarked on the journey to launch a comprehensive review on the implementation of its 2019 election manifesto on 2nd September 2023 at Orlando Stadium, Soweto. This is an occasion on the 2nd of September that will be addressed by the President of the ANC. The President, on behalf of the National Executive Committee, will give a detailed account about how far we have gone in relation to what we characterize as the period of a cusp of hope and renewal, and the commitment we have made to our people in terms of what we said we will do and what has happened thus far. This will be followed by reviews in all provinces, regions, and branches. On the 2nd of September, we'll start at Orlando. On the 9th of September, we'll go to Northern Cape, Northwest, Limpopo, and the Free State in terms of 9 provincial activities or rallies. On the 16th of September, it will be provincial rallies in the Eastern Cape, KwaZulu-Natal, Western Cape, and Mpumalanga. On the 19th of September, there will be 52 regional meetings in all the 52 regions in the country. Following that, it will be VD meetings where we will equally give an account about the manifesto process. This will characterize the month of September of accounting to the people of South Africa about what the ANC have done. This will, of course, be open to academia. This will be open to civil society groups. This will be open to media. Our leadership will give a thorough going account led by the President on how far we have gone in terms of our election manifesto. The 2019 election manifesto was launched under the theme, "Let's grow South Africa together, a better life for all." The manifesto saw the ANC win the majority vote to constitute the national government and provincial government in 8 provinces. The importance of this 2019 election manifesto review event is to kickstart a comprehensive conversation with our people on the strides we have made and the outstanding backlogs with regards to the implementation of the 2019 election manifesto. Is informed by the fact that the ANC remains the parliament of the people. It is a national occasion, the first of its kind for the National Executive Committee, led by the President Cyril Ramaphosa, to take stock of the current term since the last elections in May 2019 and account to the people of South Africa who mandated the ANC to lead their government. The review process will therefore afford different sectors of society to engage the ANC on its actual performance concerning its commitments in its 2019 election manifesto. It is about the ANC subjecting itself in the spirit of frank, robust, and critical public scrutiny to review to what extent it implemented its national transformation agenda, as highlighted through the elections manifesto theme and the 7 priorities. This process is consistent with the organization's culture, which places a high premium on participatory democracy and self-criticism, as the ANC remains the true parliament of the people. We therefore our election manifesto as a compact between the ANC and the electorate. As a governing party, it was thus translated into medium a strategic framework of government 2019 to 2024, focusing on 7 priority areas: an inclusive economy for all, social transformation, safer communities, capable and developmental government, a diverse and inclusive nation, fighting corruption and promoting integrity, a better Africa and the world. The manifesto review will account for the detailed commitments in each of these areas since 2019. The review account takes place in 30 years of democracy, the first decade of the African Union Agenda 2063, and the halfway mark towards the Sustainable Development Goals. The review will allow for national conversations with various constituencies on the achievements and challenges of our democracy and what needs to be done, sector by sector, community by community, towards the vision of a South Africa that belongs to all, that provides a better life for all. The ANC is confident that this process will enrich the content of the pledges it will make to the electorate for the 2024 national and provincial elections, with consideration of strides made, outstanding development backlogs, and generally new projections in terms of the current state of national, continental, and global development. The ANC embarks on this 2019 election manifesto informed by accelerating national transformation and ensuring that our body politic embodies the text and spirit of the Freedom Charter and our Constitution. We are not working towards 2024 for a coalition government. We are going to our people for an outright decisive majority. And we're very clear as the ANC that that decisive majority is not a given. It is something that the ANC itself must earn and must win the people on its side to get decisive majority. And we've had some of the assertions that distort our position to a certain extent based on the national dialogue on coalitions that was convened by the Deputy President. It is in line with our coalition perspective as the ANC that the government has convened this national dialogue, which we welcomed and we participated fully, about the state of local government and hung municipalities. And there are very critical areas of consensus between political parties out of that dialogue that we need to consider going forward to arrest the deteriorating situation at the level of our municipalities to ensure stability, ethical leadership, good governance in the municipalities. As you would have seen that in some of these coalitions that we've got in local government, they have not served our people fully, and they've been reshuffled from time to time. Changes have been there, instability in local government. So there is a bouquet of consensus that come out of that coalition that point to a positive direction about what we must do in terms of bringing about stability in local government within the country. We talk about grand coalitions as one of the options that we look at. Coalitions is a product not of our liking, but a product of our democratic dispensation. And coalitions will give you friends and people you have to work with that you would not intend to work with. In the perspective we put across, we said that it is not the ideology and the political positioning in the country that determines sometimes who you work with. What we want to achieve in terms of the principles that govern these coalitions, we have stated them very clearly in terms of what are those principles that we think must guide us in terms of these coalitions in the hung municipalities. And we said that that dialogue to us must not be mistaken as something that informs what must happen in 2024. 2024 is an election that we will work as the ANC, as we do as an incumbent, for a decisive majority. We have not had any discussion with any political party about 2024. That includes any party that you can mention in this country. And we have not had any discussions with anyone about what must actually happen in 2024. All the discussion we have had as the ANC is to mobilize, prepare ourselves for a decisive victory in 2024. And we know that is not a given. It's something that we are working on and winning our people on our side for a decisive victory. The ANC met with SASCO and recognized one structure as the legitimate representation of SASCO. Both groupings have accepted the outcomes and recognize the structure of SASCO that was elected in the National Conference last year. SG, right? Last year?
Yes.
Okay. Because the Ketwe now same year, so I need to be very clear. So SASCO now is led by President Velinhlanhla Simelane, who is Vezinhlanhla. Yeah, Vezinhlanhla, not Velinhlanhla. Yeah, Vezinhlanhla. But in Ziafana, this is the president of SASCO, which you know. And then the Deputy President, Julia Mtsweni, the comrade on my far left, the Secretary General, Richard Alungile Kamche, with a white shirt, and the Deputy Secretary General Asif Dlanjwa is not with us here because of other commitments, and the Treasurer General Tabile Tamara Dlamini, and the National Organizer Zandi Maseko Chabalala, and additional members. We have concluded that as the ANC, we will only recognize this structure, and the NEC confirmed by the courts at the Lake Congress. And it is also important that the process of bringing comrades together continues to be led by former SASCO leaders, convocants, ANC leadership, and other POA structures of the MDM. When preparing the next Congress, SASCO shall be assisted by the ANC to facilitate and organize a unitary and all-inclusive National Congress in the near future. It was recommended that the NEC elected at Boysen's Hotel will be dissolved, and accordingly comrades have been met and have accepted the outcome of the democratic process. And those comrades must also be thanked for their political discipline. Yesterday we met with all of them since we embarked on a rigorous process of engagement with SASCO and all the structures since we were elected last year. And that process is now concluded. And they too have now subjected themselves to a democratic process, and that they will work together going forward. From today, August, the recognized NEC of SASCO will officially form part of the PYA and run political programs together as equal partners. The renewal of SASCO is paramount, just as it is important to renew the ANC and restore the integrity of all structures. The fight for student rights and mobilization of students to support the progressive people's movement, the ANC requires a strong and united SASCO. SASCO does not only exist to support the ANC, it exists also to champion the interest of students in the different campuses. As you know, the biggest topic now is NSFAS and the interventions that have been made by government. It is upon SASCO to work with all other progressive formations to ensure that these matters are resolved and they champion the cause of the students. So we wish to announce that important development about our student ally, which is the South African Student Congress, and salute the maturity of the leadership of the students in the country by understanding that the important task at hand is to win the revolution rather than just petty squabbles. So we're very elated as the ANC with regard to this development, and thank you very much.
Thank you very much, SG, for the statement. At this point,